Hey everyone, I just wanted to offer a quick update on a situation that is impacting me and my family, and we wanted to use this opportunity to not only call on support from the community to get help for us, but really to help us step forward for justice right now and for all the families being threatened with situations like ours. So let me explain to everyone a little bit what's going on for us. So basically, when the lockdown hit, two of the careers that Amanda and I were in were a career in theater and a career in the restaurant industry. Both of these industries have been decimated here in Toronto and around the world by the lockdown measures, and so this was an immediate loss of income for us. Now, there is a bit of funding that was available at the beginning of all this. It was called CERB, and you could apply and say, I lost my job because of the lockdown, and they give a couple $1,000s every few weeks, and it was helpful, but you had to have a certain amount of income to be able to get this funding, and Amanda's income in the restaurant industry was not high enough, so she lost the majority of her work there, but we never got any replacement or support from the government on that. As things continued, we decided maybe we'll juggle things around. Amanda's work on the weekends was making us more money than my personal support work job. I was also working as a mindfulness-based personal support worker 3 days a week. We decided to take the short shift I was working on Saturdays and give that time to Amanda while I watched the kids because her restaurant work was just financially smarter at the time. Well, this really didn't work with the clients I was working with who really needed the weekend support, and so they terminated my position to hire someone who could work the weekends, which means, again, due to the whole conditions of the lockdown and things beyond our control, we lost another job mid-lockdown. Now, of course, I could not apply for more funding. You get one source of funding per person. And then at the end of the summer, they shut down the CERB funding entirely and switched it to employment insurance. But since Amanda and I are both contracted gig workers, there's zero employment insurance for us gig workers around Toronto, another sort of industry of people that are being totally destroyed by this, not being supported, not being acknowledged. So that was basically another wave. The government support disappeared, another job disappeared. And we continued to try to save our money and figure out how to proceed. Now, during all this, we decided to join our we decided to join our tenant association. We read on the City of Toronto website that this was a good idea, that this offered you some support and potential legal protection or resources. And so we followed that advice. We joined our local tenant association, and we found out that they had been reaching out to our landlord to try to begin negotiations for tenants who were struggling. It was perfect. From what we could see, we were following all the guidelines of the city. So when the landlord reached out and asked us about negotiations for rent and for how to proceed, we responded saying, here are some terms. What we would like to do is have you negotiate through our tenant association so that there's some transparency and so that we have the resource of our community as we go through this and so that we can protect our home and not be evicted. So their decision when we sent this email was to pretend it never happened, was to pretend we never ever responded. We have been accused of never responding to the landlord. They have overtly lied and pretended our tenant association doesn't exist at all. That is their position. We don't exist and we never responded to anything. No email was sent, even though, of course, I have reminded them that we did respond with terms, and their response to all of this was to evict us or attempt to evict us. So we received a notice saying that we have a hearing on November 20th to defend ourselves and our home based on this landlord's claim that we never negotiated and that they have the right to evict us during a lockdown, which took away our financial stability and is no fault of our own at all. These arbitrary lockdown measures just destroyed some lives more than others. Now, let me be clear. I don't feel scared in this moment. I'm not coming here as a victim. I'm not looking for money. Amanda and I are building our careers in other ways. We are resilient and adaptive people. We will move forward and get back to a place where we're paying our rent regularly. We will, regardless of what's going on, because we feel capable of overcoming these circumstances. But in the meantime, we are being threatened with eviction. I am going to be asking the community to reach out to our landlords, to the property company that owns this property, and ask them to stop trying to evict families. They're trying to basically get rich off this. Our apartment is locked into a really great price range. If they evict us, they will basically double the rent and make a huge amount of money. which of course is their main focus right now. Landlords in Toronto have been using police to forcefully remove people from their homes, people who cannot pay rent because of the lockdown measures. Obviously, this is deeply, deeply wrong. And I will be sharing some video here and on some of the other channels of the community, some of the people from our tenant association and the community here who went to the house of the owner, the mansion of the owner, to demand that he stop trying to put families in the street during the lockdown. And of course, he called the police and refused to converse with anyone in the group. But that's no surprise. So I'm going to share a link to some memes that I have out there with the information on how to contact these landlords, the email and the phone numbers, what to say. So please help us set a precedent here to protect other families. Help us stand for justice, for human rights. The arbitrary mistreatment of some families based on the fact that they don't have the benefit of working for companies like Amazon, who are thriving right now in this lockdown. That's wrong. It's wrong that if you just happen to work in one of the industries destroyed by arbitrary lockdown measures, that you are homeless, that your children are homeless. I'm trying not to make this video too long, but there's just so much I need to say. I also wanted to add that Amanda and I are doing a 5-day meditation challenge to help the community heal from the impacts of the lockdown. So what we're going through right now is beautiful, perfect catalyst for us to work with. So in our journaling work and our meditation work that we're going to be offering during this 5-day challenge, we're really uncovering some rich, some deep stuff, some heavy stuff, some dark stuff, but the catalyst, the good stuff that's truly bound to lead to great spiritual growth. So we have that challenge coming up on November 14th. And right now we have a free offering. If you go to the link in my bio on my Instagram, it's a PDF, it's a journaling PDF called Journaling Medicine for Warriors of the Great Awakening. And it's really to help you use a journaling process to start to unpack the effects of the lockdown. And we're going to connect that to the meditation practices we launch later this month. So please keep an eye out for some new offerings from Amanda and I. We're going to be pairing all the meditative practices with different foods and essential oils, and really showing people all the different ways they can expand on what we're going to be doing in the challenge, and ways people can make it their own. So I'll add that in there. And maybe one other thing. Of course, since I'm moving my career more in the direction of all this work with the truther community, it's important to let you know that my Facebook account was destroyed, and as I'm trying to branch out into this field, the account that I had the most followers on was destroyed. So please make sure that if you're not subscribed to my YouTube, please subscribe. Please find me on Telegram and Instagram and Parler and Twitter, and help me rebuild from the damage of censorship as well, so that I can do more work with this community, which is really what I want to do. So thanks everyone thank you everyone for your support. It's greatly appreciated. I'll see you soon.